The man, the myth, the legend.
We have him.
We are joined with NRL's most wanted man this week. Here is his feats for the week include Instagram being deleted.
Tick.
Instagram being re-uploaded on a new account with 6,000 followers in the first week.
Tick.
A new YouTube for himself, a new YouTube channel.
Tick.
What else is there? Oh, being under investigation by the NRL.
Tick.
Can I get any better than that, Gene?
Not much more, bro. Not much more.
Did I miss anything?
Bro, we're going to find out because we're going to Canberra this week. We might have fucking Albanese after me.
Yeah, you might be a fugitive now.
Bro, I've got some big plans for my vlog this week.
I think Parliament House, horde.
You have no idea.
Don't go near it. Don't go near it.
I'll stay at safe distance, but you hear me.
By no honesty, it must have been a roller coaster of emotions getting banned from Instagram and being referred to as the most feared man in the NRL.
Bro, it was crazy because like I had woken up and I went to go gym that day and it was like a normal day for me. And I got to the gym and someone's like, I can't remember who it was. I think it was my brother or Fred or someone messaged me, why can't I see your Instagram? I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't see my Instagram. I open up my Instagram. You've got 180 days to respond to this suspension.
No way.
What the fuck's going on? Apparently, I got done for like abusive behavior online or some shit. Or I can't remember what it was. Or like child exploitation. I can't remember what the guidelines were.
Yeah, one horde too many.
Yeah. And I called a couple of people. I'm like, can you see my Instagram? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's all right. Just make a temporary Instagram. And then I went and made a temporary Instagram and I was flying. I'm like, yeah, 2,000 followers in like 3 hours. You guys think you could silence me? Horde.
Yeah.
Banned again.
Everything. An extra heavy duty ban this time.
Not only that, I go to log on to Facebook, gone. I go to log on to my podcast channel, gone. Go to log on to anything that was any relation to that, gone.
Wow. Actually,
And I was like, fuck, this is going to be a huge hit. And then I got one of the boys message me. He goes, Mabruk. Like, what are you talking about, Mabruk? And he goes, bro, you're going to blow up after this.
I told him that too. I messaged him that as well.
And I'm like to him, you reckon? He's like, yeah. And then Fred calls me up. At this point, I didn't know I was under investigation. I was going to go get a Portos in Enfield. Great Portos, by the way.
Wow.
Anfield?
Not Anfield,
Okay,
Enfield.
sorry.
Well, I was driving there, and then Fred calls me up, and he's like to me, bro, why didn't you tell me you're under investigation? And I'm like to him, I'm under investigation? And he's like, you're under investigation. Someone's been like, you know that whistleblower page that you guys are in, or Sharbel, that the screenshot that was sent? It was like from like an Instagram page.
Oh, yeah. It's an Instagram broadcast
Yeah,
channel.
so that had leaked
yeah.
it before it had actually reached mainstream news. And he's like to me, wait 1 sec, I'm going to call the bloke and see if it's legit. And he calls him up, calls me back, and he's like, bro, it's legit. You're going to see it on the Telegraph very soon. 3 seconds later, my phone does not stop. Wow. I'm trying to eat and my phone, boom, 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 boom. Is this you? Is this you? Is this you?
That's annoying
Apparently.
when you're eating, but...
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to eat my thing. Like
Yeah.
at the time, I was a bit like, "What the fuck's going on? Are they actually gonna come after me? Like, whatnot?" And then, what happens next is there's like an hour phone call of me and Hectic Fred going back and forth, and he's like, "Bro, there's no way they're gonna go after you without coming after me. So I'm gonna go and make a video about this."
Fair enough.
And he goes and makes, and I'm like to him, "Wait, let me make the video." He's more heated than me at this point. I'm like, "Let me make my video first. I'll make my first respectable video where there's no swearing and everything." And I know you guys saw it, but I was like, you guys are that scared of me, like as if you're like going to ban me. And then more reports come out that the Dragons actually referred me to the NRL, and the NRL was the one that took me down. And then everything just kept adding up, and he ends up putting like a video up saying, we're going to hashtag free JCB on every single post. And then I looked at the Dragons post. Someone sent me like a screen recording, and there was over 300 comments saying free JCB. And someone's like, what's a JCB? And someone goes, shut your ass up.
So Hectic Fred started the movement.
Yeah, he was the one. He was like the main push for the hashtag
What
free
a guy,
JCB.
bro. He's a mad guy to have in your corner.
Bro, he was the best thing. And then him and the boys. Bro, him and one of the boys, his name's Sui. I don't know if you boys have met him, but he's on the League Lads podcast. Sui messaged me on WhatsApp. He's like, bro, speak to this bloke. He's a lawyer. He's in Lebanon right now, but he'll get back to you. I speak to this lawyer, and he goes to me, brother, I've got your back. I'm like, how much is it going to cost me? He's like, Sui's a brother, it's on me. He's like, me and the law firm are ready to back you up now, like all the way through this.
You had the backing ready to go.
That's
Bro.
a good thing for the law firm as well. That's the publicity you can
Yeah,
give them,
bro,
man.
it's good for them as well. And then he's like to me, I'm like to him, what do you reckon I should do? He's like, first of all, we're going to write him an email telling them to reinstate your Instagram, and then we're going to go on the offense against the NRL. He's like, that's what I reckon we should do. And I'm not going to get into the details of it, obviously, in case stuff does end up happening.
You might stuff up your own lawsuit.
Yeah, literally. And then he's like, I'm like to him, do you reckon I'll be fine to get into the game this week? He's like, you'll be fine. I dared them to not let you win. We'll fuck up the Dragons. And I was dying about like that whole situation. And then a couple of other lawyers messaged me on my new Instagram saying, I've got your back, pro bono. I'm like, what the fuck's pro bono?
For free?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
I didn't even know what that. I thought he was talking about a boner.
Yeah, I know.
Pro bono.
Yeah, I know. I thought they were like running amok. I mean,
just meant
and
for
they're like,
free.
no, we won't charge you. We reckon you've been unjustly like taken down and silenced. Like you haven't gone after the player. Like yes, you may have been aggressive, but it's not aggressive in a way where it's threatening. It's aggressive in a way where you've been disappointed with the team.
Yeah.
And then everyone wanted to jump on my case. There's another bloke that called me up, like someone from like news.com called me up and he's like, I want to write an article about how you've been taken down and what you feel about it. And that was the night that we were going to the Dog game. Remember, I was on my phone for about an hour because we were going back and forth about it. And then they released an article, and then Illawarra Mercury releases an article, then the Raw releases an article, and now I'm like literally mainstream, like mainstream media, not just NRL media. Like I am absolutely everywhere, and I'm getting messages from everyone. People from the ages of like young kids that are like I'm related to, and then all the way up to like people that are 60 years old calling me up. Are you okay? How are you feeling about this? And I'm just like, I'm fine. I'm not stressed about this. Like this isn't gonna bother me in any single way or form. Like I'm thick-skinned. I know this is gonna benefit me in the long run. So
staying staunch.
Yeah, literally. And then things just keep falling into place, and then I ended up doing like a vlog because I'm like, you know what? Let's make some publicity out of this. People are gonna want to see what I'm like at the game. And I'm like, bro, it'll be mad if I'm doing a vlog and they don't let me into the game. So it's a win-win for me. We rock up, like we were vlogging that day, and we rock up to the game, and bro, I've never seen that many Sekis in my life. We were joking about the fact that the Sekis were there to like catch me, like I was like Pablo Escobar or something. I get into the game, and 5 minutes into a game, I promise you, no one's heard this story yet. I was saving this for us. A Seki comes running down from the hill, and he grabs me, not grabs me, but like taps me on the shoulder. And he goes, we've been looking at the camera, and in my mind, I'm like, here we go. They figured out I'm at the game, and they're going to kick me out. He goes, we've been looking at the camera, and we've had complaints from this group here about vaping. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? What are you talking about, vaping?
Of all things.
I know, my heart had dropped at that point. Excuse me. And I'm like, whoever's vaping here, just stop vaping, because you guys are going to get more, like, you're going to make it more red hot on me. You're going to make it seem like I'm a trouble.
Was it Brendan?
I don't know who it was, but if it was Brendan,
sure it was Brendan.
it probably was. I don't know who the culprit was. I won't name and shame them. If I do find out, maybe will. But anyways, we're going with the vlog. The vlog's going well, and we get a massive clip out of that vlog where now it's hit Daily Mail and like...
Yeah, Jack de Bellin.
Bro, the Jack de Bellin where he comes up to me and he's like, man of the people, gives me a hug, and I'm like to him, as if you're leaving.
I've seen that going around on Twitter as well.
Bro,
I know
it's
you're not a Twitter person.
going
everywhere.
It's like one of those things that, you know, where you see like a NRL moment and like it just goes onto every social media page. But like this time it was coming through me.
They even shout you at least, or no?
That's my problem with this whole situation. Before this, I had a name. Before this, I was the most like outrageous fan. I was the most feared fan. But now, when something wholesome comes out of it and my true character is shown, there's no name to it. It's a random fan. If you quote unquote, the Daily Mail says, why a random fan made Jack de Bellin cry. Now I'm a random fan, but 24 hours ago, Jean-Claude Bittard is getting investigated by the NRL
Free JCB.
integrity, you know, I know. And then there's that whole wholesome moment there, and there's a bit more that goes off camera, and I go to him, bro, no matter where you go, I'm going to have your, like, I'm going to support you. And he's like, bro, I appreciate your support, I love you heaps. And I'm like to him, make sure when you see Cole Flanagan, I said, good performance. And he's like, don't worry, I will. And he started laughing about it, but he was walking away, and he was still tearing up as well. And then at that point, the camera's off, and I'm about to turn around, and I see a Seki running towards me. Some 6'4" Islander Seki running towards me. I'm like, shit.
Were you ready to take him on?
Shit. I was ready to run, and he's like, hey. And I'm like, uh-oh. Comes running over, and I'm like, this bloke's going to throw me out as well, but that's the end of the game, so who cares? But I didn't have the camera on at this time, so I was like, fuck, I'm going to lose some publicity here. But He runs over to me and he's like, "Uso, I love you, brother." Shakes my hand and he goes, "Oh, I love you. You're my favorite bloke. You're the funniest bloke. Don't ever let them silence you." He's like, "I work here every game. If they try and kick you out of the game, call me. I'm coming down to the gate to make sure you personally get in."
Wow.
And then, yeah, there was all these like fan interactions that day and all this. And it was just, everything was just blowing up out of that one video that I decided to make on February 14th when I'm like, you girls can have Valentine's Day. We got Team Leads Tuesday back. Now, right now, I'm getting posted on Daily Mail, News.com, The Telegraph, Illawarra Mercury, The Raw. Twitter apparently now is posting me.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter.
Getting taken down, investigated by the NRL. In the space of 4 months, I did not expect this to happen. So I'm just going to ride the wave and just turn it into like a YouTube vlog series where I go to like games and vlog it. And then obviously because the NRL seasonal, I'm going to take my YouTube away from the NRL as well, but still incorporate the NRL content. Because people obviously are still going to enjoy the NRL content.
It's a long 6 months.
Don't pigeonhole yourself, man.
No.
Yeah.
No, so like I'm going to eventually take it away where I'm doing like daily vlogs or like challenges or like, you know, like just branch myself out where like now I'm not a TikToker, I'm a YouTuber.
Imagine we start our soccer team again. You get some mad highlights from that.
Could you imagine that?
Oh, definitely not with me.
Remember that video when we won the penalty shootout? If that went on your YouTube, oh
Mate,
my God.
My first vlog video, mind you, this is my first vlog. I had 0 subscribers at this point. Goes up. I go up to around, I think it's roughly like 5K views now, which is absolutely unreal on YouTube.
Yeah, crazy.
And I'm at like over 650 subscribers or something around
Does that mean
point.
you're making money off the internet
Not
now?
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Around the 1,000 subscriber mark is when you can start calling me like money maker.
No, definitely ride the wave, bro. But it's funny, you know, even I remember when I spoke to you on Friday because I was working that day and I didn't even check my phone till about 5:30. And I got about 5, 6 different messages
It was
from people.
Thursday because it was the day of the Dogs game.
Thursday?
Right, it was Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what the fuck's going on, bro? Everyone's messaging me this photo and I'm on the investigation. I'm thinking, what the fuck? And I called you, you didn't answer. And I messaged you, I'm like, bro, call me now. Something's happened. Mind you, I'm behind by about 4 hours. And I went back to your TikTok and I watched everything. And I kept on spamming your phone. You didn't answer. And I was frying my brain. And we spoke for like half an hour, like, what's going to happen? What can I do? And we even called a few people. Got a few people in the phone call saying what's going to happen. Nah, it was, bro, that's a crazy day.
But it was hilarious because at the time, everyone thought I was stressed out. I wasn't. I just wanted to know my worst case scenario so I can prep for this so I know what and what not to say on my TikTok. Because obviously I don't want to say something that's incriminating on TikTok. So once I found out what my possible worst case scenarios could be, because obviously they have no jurisdiction over me.
No, definitely not.
Like I'm not affiliated with
them.
them. They can't sanction me in any shape or form. So then that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start playing into the villain act. So then I screenshot that whole thing where it's like the NRL investigating a staunchest critic. And then I sat there and I'm like, God, like, bro, what's the worst you can do? Ban me from your game?
You've already been investigated. Like, what can happen now?
Because, first of all, I haven't sent any threatening messages to any players. I haven't even, like, sent any I haven't even made any personal comments about anyone's personal life. If you see my videos, I've actually made several comments saying, I bet these blokes are nice in person, but they're just shit on the field. Excuse me.
Do we know for sure now that the NRL spoke to Instagram and got that done?
Yeah, because so there was a bunch of reports that came out and like people obviously working within people. I know people that do work within the NRL as well. And there's a lot of people that will send me a lot of stuff and they all said this is a scare tactic to show other people don't follow in his lead.
It's so crazy. I can't believe that the club actually went to that level. There is so many different ways around it. The fact that they went behind your back without even approaching you or messaging you, they went straight to the NRL and got them to ban it. Is a club actually that scared of a critic of their team?
They couldn't message him. He was blocked 2 months ago.
No, but that's my problem. It's not that hard to get my number, bro. I'm a member. Like, you can go and search up my number. You can search up my email.
Message you on Instagram. Say, hey, mate, we're not happy with your content. Do you mind if you tone it down or change it up? Like, it's not that hard.
But it's not that hard. Like, I agree. Like, this is what is pissing everyone off the most. Like, especially content creators, because I got deplatformed without any warning. So, like, to other content creators, this was like a warning shot. Like, oh, this could happen to you if you say something that someone doesn't agree with.
Bro, there's been so much worse said.
I know there is so much worse, but, like, contact me. Say, we don't like what you're doing. Either tone it down or we're going to have some issues with this. Obviously, I'm not going to completely stop what I'm doing. I may have taken some swearing words out of it. Or, like, I may have sort of, like, you know, I don't know, just toned it down a bit.
At the end of the day, you're a critic. Like,
Yeah.
What more can you not say?
Bro, you know what burns me about this? After the Eels game, Damien Cook comes out, and I already had my issue with him. Damien Cook comes out and goes, bully, bully, bully. Brother, how am I a bully? I've never went to anyone's workplace. I've never went to anyone's home. Never messaged anyone. I'm on the internet making a video. Yeah? You know, let me show you something. Let me show you something. If you see a video you don't like that, lock your phone, put it down. What's so hard? Yeah. Why are these people so invested into me if they don't even fucking, if they don't, like for example, you're Kyle Flanagan, yeah? You know I'm about to have a rant about you. Why would you sit there and still continue to watch lock your phone, put your phone down. Yeah. Don't sit here. But,
even easier, let him block you off TikTok.
Block me.
What's he going to follow you for?
Me. Yeah. And the worst part about this is Shane Flanagan is more active on social media than I am. He's going around messaging people, shut up you fool, or put a name to your message, or you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm not the type to go and ruin someone's career, but like this bloke is actually going out on social media and directly messaging people.
You can't be doing that.
And he's calling me a bully? Like, how am I the bully? You're the one that's contacting fans, brother. We're the reason you've got a job. We're the reason the club exists. Why are you going and contacting fans? Then you go and get Andrew Johns on national TV calling me a gronk.
Biggest bully of the weekend.
He didn't say my name. But he called me a gronk. And he expected me not to reply to him. Obviously, he's sitting there throwing sticks and stones out of glass houses. Because do you remember what he said to Greg Inglis a couple years back? Yeah. Called him a BC. Yeah. A very, very racial comment. And he had to stand down from his position. So who is he to go and talk about, don't listen to gronks on the internet? Brother, you're a fucking gronk. This whole thing's pissing me off because everyone seems to agree with me. Imagine the Dragons went on about this differently. Like, imagine they invited me to captain's run or before the game to get me in the sheds and jam up. Like, Yahu Sharmuta, you better not lose. If you lose,
I'm not gonna do that.
the Bulldogs did it. I remember last year.
You know the Bulldogs commentary bloke.
He records his TV and he
go Burden, you sick cunt. Go Burden.
Come on, Dogs, close them out. Yeah, he walked into the room. The whole team just jumped to their feet.
Bro, I'm telling you,
but you're not gonna be jumping at your feet. Definitely not.
Because everyone will be, except for two people, and we both know who those two people
you're
are.
Definitely not.
Well, because I'm not gonna name the exact players and whatnot because the
coach has an issue with you, so that's never gonna happen.
That's what I mean. But like at the end of the day, when there's a lot of reports saying that half the dressing shed is like torn, and because they say what we say, they're humans as well. It's not like they're robots. When you can see someone's getting favoured, it's so obvious, yeah. You can see that Kyle's getting favoured over, and we now lost another youngster, Jonah Glover, who's come out and said his pathway's blocked by Kyle. Like, it's not
crazy, bro. Crazy to think that Kyle Flanagan is stopping your future.
That's what I mean. Like, it's so obvious, and like that's why a lot of the players, and I'm not going to name them and single them out, but a lot of the players do message me and say your content's funny. I even had, I know I'm not going to say his name, but I told you on Thursday. Someone's manager actually reached out to me and he agrees with me and he goes, certain stuff in the media has been lied to you about and this is not what's happening, just don't believe it. He's like, keep doing your work, eventually you're going to see change and this and that. Someone else has come out with another report today and telling me there's been whispers about us going after a different coach. Yeah. I'm not going to say who because obviously now I'm still under the microscope. I don't want someone to come and say you're defaming us and whatever. But there's like...
In the corporate eye, your word means nothing anymore.
Yeah.
And in terms of the fans, a lot of the fans will listen to you, but like...
If you see how many comments, and this is what pisses me off about the Dragons, they think I'm a negative impact. If you see how many comments I've got going, people saying, we come to the game to see you, or we come to the game because we see passion like yours and we think we should bring that back, or I've never watched so many Dragons games in my life because of you. And there is, I promise you, endless amounts of messages and comments like that. To the point where we sold out a Dragons-Eels game. I'm not going to say I sat here and sold out 19,000 tickets, but whether it be an extra 10 tickets or an extra 100 tickets or an extra 1,000 tickets.
Definitely had an influence.
For sure.
I'm sure I had an influence there and on the playing performance as well. Did you see how they came out with a rocket up their arse?
Yeah, they did.
First set of the game, a try. Kyle Flanagan scored. This is all in the lead up to wanting to prove me wrong. Like, you could have rode the wave with me. You could have become such a likeable club that you've gone and gotten one of your biggest content creators involved and just... rode the wave with him, and now the fans are coming back like, oh, the club actually cares about what we've got to say. I don't know, like, do you guys think that they could have gone about this a complete different way?
110%, but what pisses me off the most about this situation is, think about it, if your team's coming first, it's only because you're critiquing a team at the moment, which I definitely do need critiquing, because everyone knows what the problem is, but they're not addressing it. But say you guys are coming first, flat out first, and you're out there making content, like making people laugh and stuff, bro, they're jumping on board with you 110%. It's only because they're down and out, and you're telling them what they need to do, Everyone else knows what they need to do. And you even brought that light into mainstream media, and the mainstream media started talking about Carl Flanagan and the coach and everything. You actually brought that light amongst them. You made everyone see what the problem was. And it's because it's become such a problem for them, and it's caused so much uncertainty within the dressing room that you're labelled as a villain now. But I guarantee you guys are coming first. You're having a laugh on TikTok. You're still doing the same shit that you're doing. They're jumping on board 110%, bro.
I think it doesn't help that it's the coach as well and the coach's son. The two people that are being critiqued very hard. And instead of him sitting there saying, you know what, we're going to drop Kyle, give Ilias a 5-6 game run, see how he goes. He's going to sit there and stick staunch like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
Bro,
None of you know what you're talking about.
It's his coach. And you remember when you came over to my house the other day, my dad even said, like, I love to coach footy. I love being around footy, but I would never, ever coach a team with my kids in it.
Because
you can't, bro.
At the end of the day, you're a dad. And I understand he's trying to protect his son. But, brother, you're running a business. And at what point is it where the business is starting to feel the downside of you being a father? Like, you gotta at the end remember you're a coach first, father second in that industry.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you gotta make those hard decisions where you're like, okay, fair enough, he's not performing, let's try something else. And now with him doing that, Cole doesn't cop the stick that he does in the media. Because I'm not the only person that critiques him. You go over social media, you go everywhere. There's banter accounts that sit here saying memes about Kyle. Is that how you want your son to be respected in the eye?
Yeah. You watch. I'm telling you. Like, they've already tried to silence you, and they've seen that you made a new account. They're not going to keep deactivating you against you because you're going to keep doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
But you're going to get to a certain point where you're going to get more attraction about the NRL than the NRL is, and they're going to be inviting you to do stuff after that.
I agree.
They're gonna jump ship straight away.
Everyone's saying the same thing. Every content creator, every person of influence is saying, you wait for the day where they jump ship, because they're going to stay and staunch for a bit. Obviously, they're going to try and show their power. But when they say that they can't silence someone, they're going to have to bring him on board.
They silenced you, you made a new account. They silenced you again, you made a new account. Like,
and it's getting bigger every time.
You can just keep making Instagram accounts. It's not going to solve the solution. Unless they reach out to you and actually resolve it with you through a normal conversation or something, this issue will never get resolved.
What would you personally do, like, with this whole situation? If you're like a Dragon CEO and you see me, I'm not saying you might agree with what I say or what I do. What would your best interest be in fixing this whole situation?
You just need to have a conversation. At the end of the day, you've gone too far now to be cool with Shane or to be cool with Kyle. That's never going to happen. But they need to get you on board in that you still show the support that you do in the club. Because honestly, a lot of other fans, having gone through what you've gone through, would have jumped ship on the Dragons. That with the second they got blocked to begin with.
Bro, that's loyalty.
A lot of people would have walked away very quickly. You've shown them that you're not going to do that. So
I think that's what they wanted essentially. They wanted me to just completely piss off.
Yeah.
But I summed it up perfectly in a video. We were here before them, and once they get fired and move on, we're going to be here after them.
Yeah.
We are the club. They're not. They're part of the timeline of the club. The club is our whole timeline. So like, someone said it perfectly to me. They're like, had they had invited you into the dressing shed and you had like an intimate relation.
Intimate relation.
I don't know what the word is.
You're right, buddy.
No, I don't know what the word
You'll be
is.
feeling people in
Not
that
intimate. Not
What's
intimate.
the word? Like you start to get to know the players and know them like on a personal level, but would you still be critiquing them as hard as you do? And you come to think about it, if someone's your mate, you're not going to critique them as hard.
Definitely not.
But there could have been
to their face, I would, but not to everyone.
Yeah,
else.
obviously, I would have messaged him and been like, "Bro, drop yourself." But
bro, honestly, if I was in your shoes after everything that's happened over the last week, I would actually seek some legal advice and ask from a legal perspective, how can I reach out to the club to resolve this issue? Because if they're not going to reach out to you, then I'd be going out of my way to reach out to them to resolve this issue, because there's only so long this issue can drag on for until there comes a turning point where both parties meet.
And realistically, your ultimate goal is to be cool with the club, isn't it?
Of course it is, but they're driving a massive wedge between community and club because...
Definitely.
All right, I'm not saying 100% of the fans follow me. I'm not even saying 90% of the fans follow me. But let it be a 50-50 split. They now lost 50% of the views and the fans. That a lot of them are saying we are turned off from the club to see this is how they're treating critique.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you get the other half who are sitting here saying you did cross the line and whatever. I don't care, but there's still another there's still an amount of people that agree with me. I walked into the game and we had people chanting "Free JC" on the hill. They didn't even care about the game. I was walking up the hill and people going "Free JC." Like I felt like Nelson Mandela, cuz it was fried.
Far out.
I had a dream.
That's what I mean. Like, bro, you're driving a wedge between the community. Whether it's 100% or it's 10%, there's still a base of the community that's gonna walk away if you continue doing what you're doing. Instead of sitting here and saying, "Shake hands, we're cool with you. You do your stuff. Just stop swearing." All right, no worries. I'm still going to swear because I'm a maniac. But it won't be as tough as it was before.
Bro, and you know, adding on to you being a maniac, the best part about it is I'm so glad you made that YouTube. Because as fucking annoying as you are to all of us, it's actually...
That's a lot.
It was so good to see you on TV. And I was laughing because... everyone's actually seen how much of a smartass he is. And it's actually funny to see him like that. Because if I'm with you, I'm going to either tell you to shut up or I'm going to laugh.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between with you. And that's everyone actually gets to see it and enjoys it now, bro. It was a good watch.
Like they get to see what I'm like at a game. Like,
Yeah.
And I promise you that on camera, that's a lot more toned. You've seen me at a game. That's very toned. Like the first thing I said at the game, I'm like, "Where's Lomac? Where's God?" Like it was good to showcase to the world how much passion I have for the club. Like I'm not coming out of spite. Like,
But not only that, I know it's a bit of a facade what you do for social media, just for the views, obviously. But
look, you obviously exaggerate
Yeah.
certain things, but you know those match reviews, they're not exaggerated.
no, 100%.
Those ones are full pissed off because like, why the fuck are we still doing the same thing?
Bro, you did parkour. That was like...
I didn't know what to do because I had the mirror next to me. I couldn't punch anything. I couldn't grab anything. I had already thrown my shoe. But no,
As
like,
a wise lady once said, what did she say, Sam?
She said the devil works hard, but Shane Flanagan works harder.
That's facts, bro.
look, we'll get back to the Dragons later. But
Before we move on, did Kyle Flanagan have a good game?
no, we'll talk about this
Yeah, we'll
later.
get
But I'll explain everything later. But big news in the NRL, or not big news, but like big news between the Tigers and Eels. Talon De Silva's actually been pushed over to the Eels.
Far out, what a mistake.
Look, I spoke to someone on the way here about it, and there's two scenarios. We don't actually know if the player wanted out or if the club was willing to. Well, the club, we already know the club was willing to get rid of him, and they'll push in saying that he's allowed to go speak to a rival club. So we can say we can blame it on the club for what it is, and obviously the management of the player wouldn't be pushed on. But if you're that player, Talon De Silva, you're not going to sit behind Apisai Coruscant forever.
Well, he's
No, you're
35 next year, bro.
No, he's not that.
Yeah, he is.
Is he 34?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't
Carousel's
think so.
34.
I
I'll
think
double
they-
check.
I think they're fact check, Sam.
Yep,
I'll fact
I'll
check
get
it now.
right on top of the fact check for you, mate.
But bro, you're not going to sit behind him forever, and he's a player for the future. I think it is an amazing signing for Para.
But they've got Riley Smith there.
He's just about right. Api Coruscant's currently 32.
Wow,
Turns 33 in November.
you get a good.
So
3 years
34
out of
next
him,
year.
bro. But yeah, Talon De Silva, I think he starts in half the teams that are in this comp at hooker.
Are we going
No,
to do it again?
No, we got a good crop of hookers.
Are we going to do
Maybe
it
not
again?
half, but he does start for a solid amount of teams.
Comfortable 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Well, I can tell you he
Comfortable
starts at
5 or
my
6.
club. That's for sure.
he's the same thing as Peter Mamo, bro.
And
can't-
you got
I
Brandon
think he
Smith
offers a lot
coming
more than what
back.
Peter Mamo does.
I just think you have a vendetta against your own club, bro. Because anyone that comes through, he does not like.
We don't
Eh?
have anyone that comes through. That's why we're going and sign other players now.
So why didn't you sign Talon De Silva? You went and
already-
signed Brandon Smith.
They
We
signed Brandon
Bronson
Smith.
Garlic instead.
They did that before Talon De Silva became
some
available.
Bro, I'm sure if Talon De Silva came onto the market a lot earlier, he would have been snapped up by South.
Yeah, definitely.
Peter Mamo's not a long-term hooker for us. He can play 14, but that's about it.
I think it's a bad move from both clubs, if I'm totally honest.
Okay.
Who's going to replace Coruscant when he goes?
I think it's a terrible move from the Tigers.
Yeah, agree
first
with
of all.
that. Agree with
But
that.
I don't think it's a bad move from the.
What are they going to do with young Riley Smith? Who's
Riley Smith
actually
re-signed.
yeah, but what are they going to do with
They're
him?
going to play him at a 14, like they're going to mold him into another Brandon Smith, basically.
But they're going to end up losing one. No
Look,
one's going to sit
Riley
on the
Smith
bench
re-signed,
for how long?
For I think 2 or 3 years. Because they're going to play him like a 14 role, like Brandon Smith. We can play in the forwards and play at hooker.
You
Like
can probably
Talon-
play him at lock,
Talon De Silva
but they got Jack the Billen coming.
is a
next year.
long-term option for them.
And look, the difference between Riley Smith and Talon De Silva is Riley Smith's still in his first season of like playing first grade. Talon De Silva has played some very, very good games. He's earned the right to slot
They're
into
completely
that-
different
to that.
players as well. One's
Yeah,
an
they are.
attacking mindset and one's defensive. Riley Smith's very good defensively.
He can
That's what I
definitely
mean,
play a lock
but
position.
like I was telling you the other day, Riley Smith doesn't have the best service at a hooker, and also his options aren't as good as what Talon De Silva is.
Yeah, Riley Smith just has a pass.
I think Talon's a good 50 minutes and bring Riley on to defend that hard section where everyone gets tired and put Talon back on. And
Well-
even move Riley out to lock if you have to give the lock a break and bring... Because he can tackle, bro. Riley Smith can chop anything.
Yeah,
for
look,
sure.
I don't know. I think it's a bad move from both clubs, but in other bigger news as well, there's been a lot of injuries happening this season. Metcalf now ruled out for 9 months with an ACL, poor bloke, bro.
bloke.
He's finally found some form, and he's never had a good run with his injuries. He had an injury last year. I can't remember what it was, his shoulder. He had a massive injury last year. And now he's come back, found form, and he was sitting at the top of the Dalian before we went close. And he's done his ACL, the poor
the
bloke.
end of
Does that mean Will Kennedy's going to go back to the top?
No chance, mate. There's a couple of other players that come straight to my mind. But
It's
in all seriousness, this is the Warriors season.
Definitely.
The Warriors season just went up into flames with Metcalf.
100%. And I was even going to mention it later. Like, I look at the ladder and I see a lot more threats than Raiders and Warriors at the coming to the final section of the season.
Yeah.
Because yes, Raiders are up there and they've been performing very well, but they've been scraping the wins by about 4 or 6 points.
You take away that Souths game, their last 6 wins have been by 6 or less.
There you go. So what I come to think is, like, come finals, I see Panthers outperforming Raiders. I see Roosters outperforming Raiders. And you can
Even Broncos, bro.
Broncos, if they're on, they're going to outperform Raiders. It's funny. I know it's a 27 round season, and obviously they've been the best team for all the rounds so far. But are they still the team that can win it?
I think they can. I've got no doubt that they can. Because they've got the hardworking forward and they've also got flair out the back.
They do, but on their day, on Penrith's day and on Raiders' day, who outperforms each other?
On their day, I don't put anyone near Penrith.
There you go.
I don't put anyone
And that's
anywhere
my point
near
exactly.
them.
On Broncos' day and Penrith's day, I don't have any team next to them.
That's probably fair.
Look, speaking about Penrith, bro, we went to a blockbuster of a game on Thursday night. And I know a lot of Dogs fans, this is what pisses me off. A lot of Dogs fans came out complaining that was a shit game, worst game they watched, shit performance, refs robbed them. I sat there as a non-biased neutral. And you saw me, I stood up and clapped for a lot of things, whether it be a Dogs thing or a Panthers thing. I felt like that was a showcase into our final series 2 months early.
100%.
And I feel like...
You would have been satisfied watching that as a grand final. As a
Yeah,
neutral.
like
You would have been
I'm talking
satisfied,
about,
yeah.
this
had
is
a-
top 3 games all year. The intensity was the same from minute 1 to minute 80.
But I think you could even argue for top game of the year.
Yeah,
so far.
probably. Because there was the Roosters-Panthers game as well, which I'm thinking of, which was a bit more high scoring where the Roosters came out on top, I'm pretty sure.
It was a good underdog story, that game. They
Yeah.
were paying like $10 or something to
Yeah.
win that game. I remember that. But
When they had all their juniors playing that game.
bro, that to me felt like a grand. If that was a grand final this year, I would have been satisfied with it.
I actually would have told you that's a better grand final than the Cowboys-Broncos. Because the Cowboys-Broncos is only remembered for the last minute.
Exactly. But I think that the intensity that they offered from start to finish, and more importantly, that feud that they had between Casey McLean and Critter.
Yeah.
Bro, they even had Burden and Cleary. I know you don't see it on TV, but Burden and Cleary were going back at each
Yeah.
other, bro.
It's funny to think.
When
a
you
ni-
go to TV, Crichton's pretty lippy.
Yeah.
Critter talks a lot to the other team.
It's funny to think that a 19-year-old going to the head of one of the best centers in the game.
Hey, he won the contest. Casey McLean won that contest
He had
pretty
him- he had him
comfortably.
on skates in one section as
He
well,
did,
bro.
he did. Look, both teams are evenly matched across the park. The only thing is, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the game winner, Nathan Cleary, it's the only difference between them. The Panthers game winner comes out of the spine, your game winner comes out of your centers, and it's Critter, and it's not even close. That's the only difference that keeps you away from being a top tier team. And you have gone and signed that game winning player, and your fans are already turning on him. For what reason? I don't understand.
I don't know if people are turning on him. They said he had a bad game. I
Bro,
don't
did
think
you
people
not
are
see the
turning on
comments
him.
online? I can't believe Serraldo subbed him on and took off Marnie.
Well, to be fair, I think that was the turning point of the game.
I disagree. I feel like their attack was a lot better when Galvin came on. They were finding,
disagree.
they were finding so
No.
much space. And you know what? You know what fucked you up at the end was the fact that you had Montoya on the wrong side and Kiraz on the wrong side.
Swapping the wings is
I promise you,
it was
if
the wrong
you
decision
had
as well.
Kiraz where Crichton was in the last second of the game, Kiraz would have known because they've got that link up.
They do, but that pass was pretty off.
Look,
I said in the stadium, I said the same thing as you, but when I saw replays, that pass was pretty far
It
off.
was, but bro, I'm telling you, they have a connection where
Agree.
passes like that work.
100% agree. 100% agree. But
When Galvin came on, the only shit thing that happened to him was Cleary. The game's running at 150% intensity. Comes on, dummies him.
You're gonna make a
The
mistake.
best player of all time we're talking
Of
about.
course.
He comes on, and he starts to find space on the edges. And then obviously you had a lot of errors. We were talking about your errors. You had a lot of errors on the edges, especially there was one where I think Bronson Cherry got the ball. Or Bronson Cherry kick out. All they had to do was pass it to Kiraz and he was away. But they did a shit offload. Kiraz runs back and he drops the ball running back.
Yeah.
That was all on the back of Galvin being so direct and intent with what he wants to do, and he finds spaces on the edge.
Look, I get what you're saying, but they lost all their structure in that. In saying that, they lost all their structure because Galvin and Burton are very eyes-up players. We saw Burton take the line on a lot, and Galvin plays right into the line, but they offer no structure. And the thing that struggled with the Bulldogs the most was that they failed to find that last pass. It was forced 9 times out of 10, and ended up with an error majority of the time.
I thought until he went off, Reid Marnie was our best player.
Reid Marnie was your best player. Bro, did Connor Tracy not play that game for you?
No, that's a good point.
Sorry, I retract that statement. Reid Marnie was our second best player.
I disagree, bro. You had a lot of good players on that game. Preston was one of them that I was looking at. Burton had a really, really good game.
No doubt.
He had a bad moment where he got tackled on last, and we were all like, what the fuck are you doing? Bro, there was a lot of better players than Marnie. Marnie just had that one good moment where everything fell into his hand.
Look, I thought his kicking game out of dummy half was very good on Thursday night. Defensively, he made no errors. Gave away a penalty or two. That's standard Reid Marnie.
Yeah.
But
look, he had one of his better games. I'll agree with you, but he was not in your top 3 players that game. Connor Tracy was your best player.
Yeah,
you take away Connor Tracy. I don't know someone check him for peptides. You take away Connor Tracy, and he has.
Those 2 tackles were right in front of us
but
as
did
well.
you hear the contact? It was just ball, and then we're like, who was that? Connor Tracy.
You know, it's funny. Everyone remembers the end of the game, but no one actually remembered what happened during the game because everyone's saying, "Oh, Dogs should have won. Could have fucked up the pass. Could have did this." But Connor Tracy saved 3 tries.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 try-saving tackles.
Both teams could have won that game.
In saying that, those tries never ever get saved on a normal day.
Yeah. Like a lot of little plays. Remember, Burton did a show ago in the first half. He got pulled down, taken out like maybe 2 meters before the try line.
Where he just put his foot out.
Yeah.
Bro, speaking about putting foot out, do you remember when they played the ball on the sideline and
Don't
Montoya put his foot out? That was like Rugby League 2 from PlayStation 2 days where you can't you can't get rid of that kid.
He knew it was gonna happen straight away.
Yeah, he's so dumb.
Like, bro, we were like, did Critter knock it in the play of the ball?
And cuz I'm going back to this thing where there's like this disease going around wingers right now where they're just the dumbest things on earth. They're just absolutely morons.
It was because he was on the wrong side, but you know what I mean?
He's not used to passing that way. No, but that was crazy for me. The fact that you guys had switched up your wingers, it didn't make sense to me.
Look, I understood it because Kiraz is definitely our best defensive winger,
Of course.
covering To'o. I feel like Kiraz did a very good job on
I
him.
think they moved in there more so for the height for the kicks, and they tried it a few times.
Yeah,
But
the kicks were a bit off.
I think it was for both because To'o's, bro, you saw him every time he took a hit up, he took him like a whole set
and
to
he
get
looked
up.
so weak.
And he still hit 200 meters.
Yeah, he
was
looked
hobbling.
so weak,
And
man.
he still hit 200 meters. Imagine having Montoya there who just jams. Forget it, gone. At the end of the day, both teams could have won a lot more.
Yeah,
or a lot
I
less.
don't see a clear better team on the night, to be
No,
honest.
it was evenly matched. It's just their game winner is in the halves.
Yeah.
And, bro, what can't he do? He's kicking. He's that smart that he knew Burton can only kick off his left foot and everyone's in front of him. And he saw that kick coming
I saw
for
the
ages, so he
press
sprinted
conference.
out of the line.
he knew he was playing from the start.
And Burton was our only kicker
Yeah.
because Galvin doesn't kick long.
I had
Only
someone
Burton can
ask
kick
me a
long.
question. Do you think if you put any other team on that day, we would have seen a better outcome? So, like, do you think any other team would have beaten any of those teams on that day?
I don't think so.
No, I think those 2 performances were the best 2 team performances. Of the
Yeah,
year.
that's what I was alluding to.
Yeah.
Or do you think like a Melbourne team would have been able to crack the line?
No Melbourne team we've seen so far.
Melbourne lose to one of those teams if they play that night.
I don't know, see, because like I was thinking about it, Melbourne's attack is a lot better than the Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were attacking that Penrith line when the Dogs were, I think they would have cracked them a couple more times.
I don't know if
the defense that the Bulldogs put up. I don't think.
Not the Bulldogs, the Panthers.
I don't know if
They
Melbourne
both
are as
defended
greedy.
as well as
I don't
each
know,
other.
like so far this season, Melbourne haven't been as greedy as those 2 teams were.
I don't know. I think it maybe needed like a better attacking team, but then again, the game would have been completely flipped.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that was probably the best 2 team performance going back to back, like going toe to toe.
Yeah.
It was minute 1 to minute 80, and like we'll ask this question. I'll ask you guys this question because I'm very solid on this point.
Okay.
Do you guys take the 2 in with those 3 minutes to go?
100%.
Of course you do.
It's not even a question, and it shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah.
So like
We shouldn't be talking about it. We should be talking about someone got it or someone missed it.
that's what I mean. You have to try. You can't die wondering.
Yeah.
It was 8-6. It's not like it was 10-6. 8-6, 3 minutes to go. At least kick it dead. You get
Bro,
the ball back.
They do it every day. They do it every week. It's their job. They get paid.
Bro,
to do it.
Penrith even went for goal when they were 8-6 up,
Yeah.
and they hit the
he's-
post.
I know.
All right, at least we tried it. But, bro, 3 minutes to go. Is it like a confidence
You
thing?
just get the ball back. Say it goes dead. It's a 20-meter tap. You have a chance for a 2-point field goal after
Yeah.
that.
Look, no, look, I'm not arguing with this. It was definitely the right call. Look, Critter took ownership of it. He just said every time we spread it, it looked like we were skinning him. I thought we could get the try. In hindsight, he regretted it. It's his second season as a captain. And he's an outside back, so outside backs will usually think about a try first.
Look, kick or no kick, regardless, I still think that they got that Galvin injection wrong. Me personally,
I agree with you.
I think that either happened. That happened about 10 to 15 minutes too early. Like Galvin is someone with the way he's playing and if he's on your bench. Yeah. If you're down now and you're out of options, I'd try it. But the way your team was playing, it was not necessary.
Yeah, I agree with you. Or maybe try putting him into the middle or something.
Adding on to that, the quality that we saw from that game, it pissed me off because I wish that game was on a Sunday afternoon, the last game of the round.
Oh my God, yeah.
Thursday was
the quality of the rest of the round was fucking terrible compared to that.
Everything looked like a massive drop off in quality.
I couldn't enjoy any of the other games I watched, other than the Dragons and Eels game when Eels had that little comeback. Yeah, it started to get a bit entertaining, but other than that, bro, I couldn't enjoy the footy after that.
Yeah, agree.
Look, and the funny thing about it was the lowest scoring game of the season, and in that round as well. Like sometimes the tries don't mean entertainment, and the NRL's got this completely wrong, where they think tries equals entertainment. That was entertainment.
That's why the NRL keeps on trying to make the game faster. They keeps on trying to create fatigue.
It's entertainment to us diehard people who actually watch the games and enjoy it. But in terms of if you're trying to attract other people into the game, you're going to need to throw tries out there.
And like your fans came out, and I remember there's an interview going around on TikTok where there's about 30 fans that come out. 90% of them say, that was a boring game, the ref robbed us. Like, come on, man. That was one of the best games we've seen. And if I can remember, one of my favourite finals of all time was when Roosters and Manly played out a 4-0 game.
Yeah, Roger Tuivasa scored.
Intense. Yeah. Intense.
Your fans aren't diehards.
That's what it is. Then that was my point.
Maybe that guy grabbed the wrong 30.
No, and that's what I was... That's what I was talking about last time when I said you guys aren't the most passionate or loyal fan base. But anyways, we'll talk about another low-scoring game for the first 40 minutes. I don't even want to talk about this game.
They scored the try on the end
at the last 10 seconds of the first half. It was absolute disaster. Yeah. I can't believe what we watched in that first 40 minutes. I honestly, at that point, wanted to turn off the TV.
Bro, Tigers struggled big time without Luai, and it showed.
Bro, they were missing a couple of people, Tigers, but Tommy Turbo in the centre's got a welcome to country from Gerald Skelton. He got pumped. Yeah, he exploded. The ball went everywhere.
I'm surprised Tommy didn't come off after that tackle.
Bro, maybe moving him to centre was the better option. I know he had more of a quiet game, but we got to see a proper fullback.
If you want to play every game, I think he needs to have a bit more quiet.
And Lehigh had a really good game, bro. Lehigh had a solid game, but bro, did you see the captain's challenge in that game?
Oh my God!
It makes you wonder sometimes.
Because what do we feed these blokes?
What are they seeing, man?
Like it clearly touched his hand, yeah, and he had dropped it, and they're like, "We're gonna captain's challenge it because he went for a drop kick." Where do you what would you even challenge that?
I don't know, man.
You could definitely see that the Tigers struggled in that game without the NRL experience that they needed. But what I did like out of it was they tried. Benchy is not afraid to try new things, which isn't bad for a coach in that position.
For sure.
And we saw that when he ended up moving Adam Dewey to the halves for a couple. I think it was about 10 or 20 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
And he actually looked a lot decent at 5'8". He was the only thing good that happened out of that team.
I think besides Fainu was a solid player.
Of course, but Fainu needs that other person with him to control the team and to move him around the park. Heath Mason wasn't it for them, and Benji actually saw that wasn't the issue they could resolve, and he tried something different, which wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, bro, that was the game for Manly to lose. Like, if they lost that game, then I would have ridden off their whole season.
I'll let you hum the Tigers this week again as well, bro. I don't think they win another game this season. Poor blokes. Look, we'll move on from that game because there's not much more to talk about besides that.
There's no positives out of that.
Bro, the next game, Knights Raiders, bro. Are we talking about Faiders again? We're coming towards the back end, and they're not putting up the performances they were putting up in the first half.
Look, they're not.
I felt like if there was 5 more minutes in that game, Knights would have won.
I don't think Raiders have had the rest that every other team has had so far.
Obviously they're biased. Yeah.
And the Knights are finding their best form of the season at the moment.
And they always do this fucking last 10 round run. But bro, KO Weeks, what a player. There's moments where him and Tomoko would just take on the line in the first half, and it just felt
like... That's what I mean by their flair in the backline, man. They can challenge anybody.
He hasn't even unlocked his potential yet.
KO Weeks, bro, he hasn't even tapped into like the tip of the iceberg. And I think he's going to be like possibly we're talking about like the New South Wales fullback in the future.
He's a Kiwi, but anyway.
Is he?
Yeah,
I thought he was New South Wales.
Kiwi.
Who's the young?
definitely
Who's the
Kiwi.
young? I swear there's a young fullback coming through that New South Wales.
Chevy
line.
Stewart.
He's rubbish, bro.
He was the one who played for under 19s a couple of years
Was
ago.
it him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. That's right. Yeah.
I think more importantly, the most unsung hero in that team who doesn't get the credit he deserves, Ethan Strange. He
Agree.
has had a season to remember.
Yeah, man.
And he has no limelight to it behind Hudson Young and Jamal Fogarty.
I got a question for you, because I was talking to Chabo about this the other day.
Uh-oh.
Who do you reckon gets the nod first in Origin between him and Galvin?
Who?
Strange and Galvin.
What's the thing? With all the hype that Galvin's had behind him,
Yeah, you gotta say Galvin gets the nod first.
in terms of quality,
I feel like
They're
Strange
not,
is
they're
a
not
lot
far
more.
apart at all.
No, I feel like Strange is a lot more mature than Galvin at the moment,
yeah.
Fair.
and he's a lot more
Fair.
stronger. He's a stronger body.
But
Yeah.
in terms of potential, I think Galvin has a lot more potential than Strange.
If you were to pick a 6 right now, and you had to pick between Galvin and Strange, who are you putting?
Galvin.
Katoa. Bro, the way he's playing, I'd be stupid not to pick Strange.
But he's solid, bro.
He's solid.
Every time you watch him, he's
He's
very
very
solid,
solid.
and he's a smart player.
But he takes the line on a lot. That's the
He
thing.
also played under 19s Origin, and he killed it.
The only reason I would argue for Galvin is because I think Galvin makes a lot more smarter decisions than what Ethan Strange does. Because Ethan Strange at the NRL club is good, but at the rep level, I don't think he can produce what Galvin could produce at the rep level.
Yeah, I think Galvin's got the bigger moments in him. Whereas if Strange will give you 80 minutes of just a solid performance.
No
Definitely.
doubt.
But,
doubt.
bro, Fogarty, I don't know if you guys saw, he had the ball on a 20-cent coin, especially for that 40-20.
My God, what a player.
Bro,
Crazy.
I don't understand what went through their minds to not re-sign him. Like, all right, you've got Sanders coming through, but come on, bro. You could have at least had Fogarty
Well, we
there.
don't know. Maybe the player wanted to leave himself. Maybe he didn't.
It looked,
doesn't
bro.
know.
It looked
Fogarty
like, yeah.
didn't.
It
Fogarty
looked like
didn't
when
wanna
he
go.
came out and spoke about it, he didn't want to leave. He was talking about how Raiders are his home and stuff.
Because I saw in the first couple of rounds, commentators kept on saying that Fogarty and Stewart aren't going to get any agents involved. They're just going to sit down and have a conversation about it. So it sounded like it was a slam dunk for them.
And, bro, just the last point for this is Ponga's. I don't know how long he's gone for, but
6 weeks, I think.
that's probably the season. Is this like Knights, so that's it?
Yeah,
Gone
it is.
forever.
Without Ponga and Sharp.
And Sharp as well, yeah.
Who plays fullback for them now?
They'll struggle
Fletcher
a lot.
Hunt.
Or did they call on that young kid Vitano, the one who played in his under 19s team?
Is he Roosters or Knights?
No, it's
You sure?
yeah.
I swear the commentators were saying Roosters Junior.
No, they got the thing is Knights have about 3 fullbacks ready to go. Fletcher, it was Fletcher Sharp,
David Armstrong last year.
David Armstrong.
Yeah, he left.
He's gone now, and it was Connor Vitano as well.
Well, Fletcher Hunt played there against the Dolphins or Roosters? Roosters, where Fogarty stepped him.
Maybe Schiller plays fullback.
Poor bloke, bro. I don't wish anything upon anyone the way that he copped it after that game.
No, that was not nice.
We had a solid game up in Suncorp where I thought initially Broncos were going to run away with it. Then the Warriors pulled it back, and then Metcalf went off, and then all their dreams went up with it.
Not only Metcalf, they lost Shans as well, and Dallin.
And Dallin as well. Like they're just such an injury-prone team.
I feel
and
like every week I watch them, so 2 people are dropping.
And Wynette is gone for the season. I feel like they're not making the 4 anymore.
I think they might not even make the 8 anymore.
Nah,
No,
they're too far in it. They're like what?
They're like
6
four
or 8.
points
4
clear
points
of
ahead.
4th.
No, but
So
how
they're
far
4
are
points
they?
clear of 5th.
How far are they ahead of 9th?
And
So
buy this round
Manly
as
is 9th with 18 points. Warriors have got 24.
And then give them the bye, so they're on 26.
Yeah,
So they still stay 6.
and I'm sure
They'll cut close.
one of their home games they'll get their home advantage where they'll get that.
Oh, yeah, look, I'm not saying they won't win another game. They'll definitely win 2 to 3 more games at least. But
Yeah.
Look, they'll cut it close, but bro, that Broncos left side is that hot right now that Shibasaki's got called into Origin.
Bro, where did that come from?
We'll talk Origin a bit later, but
so strange.
bro, what a story from a train and trial
You
to
gotta be happy
dominating
for
his
him.
position
Yeah,
to
you
now
gotta-
getting called into Origin.
Bro, he was playing rugby in Japan a
Yeah.
couple years ago.
And now he's on a train and trial. He's making 80K a year. And he's now...
South signed him on a loan contract last year because we were that short on backs. It's crazy,
Bro,
bro.
you actually got to commend him for his efforts.
You got to
too.
be happy
Bro,
for
credit
him,
where
for
credit's
sure.
due, honestly.
Yeah, man.
Bro, he's the definition of a journeyman that's now found his place and he's shining like a star, man. I think Broncos having Ezra Mam and Reece Walsh on the field at the same
They
time.
love feeding that left side.
Yeah,
bro.
I think it's just going to...
And you look at Karapani, how good he's playing as well.
Well, bro, you could have anyone on that wing
What,
and
exactly.
it will look
What wrong can he do now?
good. Nothing at the moment, bro.
With Cobbo at fullback, I don't think he's seeing the ball now. But
Yeah. Cobbo signing with Dolphins. Good move for the Dolphins.
I'm just trying to think about where they're going to put him.
I don't think so.
I think they're going to lose Averillo. I've heard talks of Averillo going to leave the club, come back to Sydney.
Any idea where?
Well, apparently the Dragons were after him.
Would you be happy with
No.
that?
If we're getting rid of Sully for Averillo, no.
Okay, fair enough.
You tell me, would you prefer Sully or Averillo?
I think Averillo ends up at Para.
Could be.
I think you take Sully, but I don't. But I think Averillo, like he offers something different.
It's either a like for like trade or it's going down. It's not an improvement.
Yeah,
There's no way Averillo is better than Sully. But I heard that Averillo is looking to come back to Sydney, so maybe he plays at centre. For them to go and sign Cobbo, that means there's
Well,
movement happening.
It
Yeah.
explains why Roosters would have signed Junior Tupou straight away because they obviously need an extra back now that they've lost on.
Well, they've got Junior Tupou and Senior Tupou.
both of them. No, but you're an idiot. But where do you think moving forward Cobbo's best position is?
Not at fullback. At the second, are you all right, mate? It's not that funny,
oh my
mate.
god, I love bad jokes.
Would you prefer me to call him Senior Citizen Tupou?
No, that would not be any better. Definitely not any better.
Honestly, I don't think he's a fullback. A lot of people disagree with me, but he's not a fullback. Maybe centre. Because he can get involved a lot more.
It's definitely not fullback.
Because they've got Bostock and Asako. They're not going
They're
anywhere.
not going anywhere.
Herbie Farnworth is not going anywhere.
Bostock out for how long?
Next year, mate. We're talking next year.
ACL, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what's his name? Metcalf's missing 9 months, so he'll...
Bro, some people come back after 4 months. Cleary came back early after, they said he was going for, how long for his shoulder?
Bro, shoulders normally, what he did is normally 8 weeks. He came back after 4 or 6.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of injuries that... It just depends on how their rehab goes. But if we're looking at it for face value and all these players are fit, he plays centre. He only takes over Averillo's spot.
Yeah.
No one else is missing that spot.
But to sign 1 year, it's such a strange deal.
It's because he's waiting to go to PNG.
Yeah, he's got... No, not PNG. He's going to Perth.
Either one.
PNG's not even coming in for another 4 years. But
Where
he's
he go?
he's there to make...
PNG's 28.
Is it
Yeah.
28?
Yeah.
So he's literally
Well,
gone and signed that 1 year.
I'm hearing that PNG is getting pushed to 29 now.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
heard they're
can't
not
get
ready.
everything in time.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that whole year thing was just a stepping stone to go from there all the way
There
to
you
Perth
go.
and
Yeah,
be their
fair
marquee signing
Perth with
and
their
go
marquee
be fullback
signing,
there.
Of course.
But we'll move on to the next game, the Dragons Eels. I was obviously at that game. I don't know.
Malmaninga seems like he'd love someone Cobbo, eh?
Of course, they would get along. You can't trust those eyebrows. Dragons versus Eels, bro. That was an entertaining game. I know. What?
Caterpillars.
You reckon Talon De Silva's his son by any chance?
Definitely not.
At least talent shapes you. Far out, bro. You got 2 little bush pigs on your
Bro, I
head.
remember someone told me, they messaged me on my Instagram and they're like, they were telling me a little rumor of why Talon De Silva left the club. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, well, can you trust someone with sharpie eyebrows on?
I can't.
I'm like, no, you got a point.
No.
You know what his eyebrows look like? Do you know? Remember the Simpsons character that goes, yes.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I'll lose it.
But yeah, my boys got over the Eels, and I called it from the start. Everyone saw my message. We were never losing this game after being so criticized in the media so hardly. We were never losing this game. The touch judge decided to be Superman with his eyes, and he called one of the most ballsy calls in history.
Easy.
I think it was right. Do you think it was right?
Now that I've seen stopped photos and very slowed down stuff, I do think it was right. On the spot, I thought he got it wrong.
It's the angle that you look at it. When you look at it from behind, it looks like it touches a lot more than front on.
Yeah. I think he got it right, and it was a ballsy call, and I honestly
that was about to equal the game.
Yeah.
I
And
said
they
it.
checked that anyway.
If you
I don't
want to fact
understand
check
that.
me, you can go back to my TikTok that day where I was walking for Wollongong, and I said, do not be surprised if the referees are blowing up our asses just so we can win, and Flanagan scores. And I called it because it's just written as a script, because if we lose that game, I think that's Flanagan's head. Not just Kyle, I think that's Shane's head gone.
Both of them.
Yeah, I think that was the end of both of them. And what pisses me off the most about that game is we came out firing. We should have went on with this game. We're talking about Eels without Moses and
Went to sleep
Penasini.
that second half.
I don't know if he's given them the wrong medications, because he's given them peptides at Sharks, and he's come here and I think he's either given us half doses or he's given us something else at half time.
Quarter those.
But in the second half, the momentum switches, and this is my problem with Flanagan. He had a decent first half. He scored a try, which masks the whole thing. Everyone's talking about he scored a try.
Yeah, of course.
In the second half, when the momentum switched, you now look into your senior playmakers to turn the momentum around. Going and putting up the same fucking midfield bomb 20 metres up straight into the hands of the fullback and the wings is not going to switch the momentum
Offers
around.
nothing, bro.
It did nothing. When the going got hard, he went missing. No one saw him. All he was doing was the same kick, same kick, same kick, same kick, X-ball, same kick. All it took was a Lomax brain snap, who is by far the biggest brain snap player in history, to offload it straight to Val Holmes, who Val Holmes now goes on a 80-metre run or 60-metre run.
Well, it makes you wonder because he was trying something, and at that point in the game, they needed
It was not needed. It was not needed. They had just made it a break.
They were what, 8 down at that point?
No, it's six down. There was 6 down with like 5 minutes to go. That was second tackle on the 30-metre line, and if you look, I know the TV obviously doesn't show it. We were shot to bits. That side, because everyone had run to cover, was like 6 or 7 players in and around that tackle. We were shot to bits. Gutherson was still getting up from that tackle as well. All they have to do is get up, play that ball, spread it left, try time. Scores a level. But Lomax, always, he has a problem with this, and he's always had a problem with it at the Dragons, where he over pushes his hand and it always turns sour. He always goes for that 1% play where if it comes off, it's magical. If it doesn't, it fucking shoots you hard. And Val Holmes runs 60 metres to seal the game for us.
Because he had about 3 or 4 people around him in that tackle.
Bro, Lussig's going like, stop, play the ball.
And Lussick was looking to left to see who's going to pass to, and he just put the hand over. Because everyone, I said, how did he get that pass away? Because it looked like there was no chance of him getting that pass away.
Yeah.
No one was actually paying attention to what was happening.
Para were really frustrating to watch that game, but how is your only game plan bomb towards Lomax?
That's all they've got.
It's so frustrating.
And it
to
works.
watch.
If it works, why would you stop doing it?
Yeah, but
Look, Lawson, I know he scored a double, but he is terrible under the high ball, bro. He is a liability.
And they
and a half.
exposed that.
He's a big liability, man. I just don't understand what happens at halftime, because that's like the 5th or 6th game where we've gone into halftime with a lead and blown it. And that's the first time where we've actually held on to that lead after a team comes back. Like, we lost the lead to you guys. We lost the lead to Sharks. To who else did we lose the lead to? To Eels, actually, the first time round, 12 points. Like, this isn't something that we can sit here and be like, okay, it's just a one-off thing. Like, this is a recurring issue. Like, and he's sitting here in the press conference saying it's not a halves issue. So why'd you drop Ilias?
No,
if it's not a halves issue.
It comes down to poor game management, and the only person you're going to get that from is your halfback.
So
unless your coach makes a wild call to change the game up, then it comes from your halfback.
I don't know, man.
How about your poor friend Jack?
Jack the Bellin. Honestly, if you see me, like, my voice starts... You obviously probably would have seen the clip. My voice got shaky because this bloke actually started crying. Like, a full-grown man started crying from how much he loves the club and he didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Like, he begged the club after the shit that they've both been through. He went through his court case, who at the time he was probably the best 13 in the game. He is changing the game as a 13.
Yeah.
He was playing for Australia, New South Wales. We're talking about like someone that was generational in his position. Goes and has a court case. Obviously comes back as a shadow of a man, but not in a bad way. It's just in the way where he's fallen that far behind the game, but he's still giving his 100% every week. And then the club stands by him, and he stands by the club by taking a pay cut to stay there, and then now he's begging the club to retire there, and they turn around and say no.
Got a feel from him, bro.
Because my voice got shaky because when he started crying, I was going to start crying. That's why if you listen to the video closely, I'm like, bro, I'm sorry to make you cry. I meant to in a good way. Like, I can't believe you're leaving, bro. Like, we love you here.
He was so close to that record as well, man.
20 games off, just one more season, bro. And he was going to be the most capped Dragons player. But
even after all the shit that he went through as well.
Bro, he would have killed it. He would have went on to be a Dragons, like, icon, not
He
just
was playing
legend.
Origin at the time as well.
Yeah,
He
bro.
was.
He had like 8 Origin games under his belt at the time of like being 24, 25. And he was coming through like a Dragons pack that was dominating the comp at the time. And it's just so shit to say one of the club legends like that, just, you know, we don't want you anymore. We're just gonna have Michael Molo there. What the fuck is Michael Molo still in the team for? Why do we have how have we gone and prioritised Michael Molo over Jack the Bellin?
How weird is Michael staying there after everything Francis did? I'd be so uncomfortable around them all, eh?
Bro, I would have dipped if my brother did that.
Bro, could you imagine your brother had beef with the club? And then you're just like, yeah, you know
Hey,
what, I'm going to stay.
Hey, Shane.
I'm dipping, bro.
Very weird. Next game, bro. Finns, bunnies, you got finned up.
I didn't even know what was the point of that game, to be honest.
You got finned up. They got another 50 points. That's the 4th time in 5 weeks.
Well, at least we know we can't win the comp. You know?
Bro, the Dolphins are doing like the NRL God's work and just eliminating teams one by one.
Katoa is crazy, man.
Bro, you know, I don't know if you saw, but maybe you did. I don't know if you turned off the TV at the time. His Hammers try.
I was asleep.
Hammers try. Where he went through the line and he dummies on the outside. Doesn't even look on the inside. Just pops it up.
I didn't say that.
Hammer was always scoring. It was his 150th NRL game, 100th NRL game.
100th, yeah.
And he scored a hat-trick that game.
I'm gonna be
4, there you go.
I'm gonna be a bit harsh now, but I don't think Hammer actually offers anything other than support.
I agree.
You don't see him
support and
pull off
speed.
those passes or anything like. He's just there for purely.
Have you
for backing
ever
up.
seen him throw a cutout pass or anything magical?
No, nothing.
He's just there for backup.
That's why I think him being selected at fullback for Queensland is so odd.
That's why I want to go on with this.
But
Jeez.
I actually read a stat that he is the first player to score 4 tries and not record a line break.
Wow.
It was just support play.
Just support play. Every single try was support play.
There you go.
Doesn't the one he got off that kick count?
How's that a line break?
He got off the kick and then he got around everyone.
Yeah, it's off a kick. It's not off. He didn't break the line.
The line's already broken. But bro, Katoa, generational.
It
Like
makes you
every
wonder.
week just gets better and better. And everyone's only getting like familiar with his game now. But we were talking about it last year. I remember we had a blow up saying, how the fuck are they dropping Katoa for Nicarima and who else was there? Nicarima and Milford.
No, O'Sullivan.
Sure, O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan. We were
Yeah.
talking about how is Katoa not playing for this team? Because yeah, he was very young, but you could see glimpses in his game that he was going on.
100%.
He's only 21 now. We didn't, 21 now, or 20 or 21, and we didn't see Cleary start to have these games until he was like 23. Katoa is,
Wayne Bennett was there, but you trust Wayne Bennett for a player's development.
100%.
but what I'm talking about is like, we're talking about Katoa, like pushing away from what Cleary was at the time.
Well,
But maybe
leave that because I want to add on to that later.
Alright,
anyway.
But
No
maybe
worries.
if Wayne Bennett throws him in early, shoots his confidence.
He did bleed him at the right time, and we
Yeah.
did see it, but
If he just throws him in the deep end when Dolphins were struggling at a point last year or the year before, could have wrecked everything for him
Yeah.
is Herbie the most informal centre right now?
Bro,
Comfortably.
He's crazy.
comfortably.
Who's going to stop him?
So world class. I thought Campbell Graham could stop him. I was wrong.
Bro, he even tore it up against you guys.
Yeah, he did.
Makes you wonder.
Critter
But,
wasn't there, but Critter wasn't playing that game.
There's some sus players on that South team, bro. I don't know how they have.
Talis Duncan had a shocker.
Shocker.
He scored a double.
Scored a double.
Bro, I don't know. Like, besides the tries, like, oh no, not Talis Duncan, sorry. Who was it? Who played the other second row?
Hugh and Aiken.
Yeah, he had a shocker, bro. It's like the fins got into his head.
That's it. He's a fin
Yeah,
originally.
he is a pin.
No, Talis Duncan, sorry. He actually, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with you.
Bro,
He had a
that
good
was-
game,
that was
sorry.
A good game for Talis.
Nah, you and Aiken had a shocker.
Isaiah Tass, Sean Kepi. The list goes on.
Tass
bro.
didn't play, did he?
Of course he played.
Bro, they fed him disco biscuits before that game and they just partied.
You know what? It's so frustrating to watch because Cody, I don't know why they're rushing back a 33-year-old.
And he's injured again.
He's injured again.
For fuck's sake, what the fuck is wrong with your team?
Bro, I don't know what they're doing at that park at Heffron or wherever they
No,
train.
man, Tass didn't play.
Who was the other?
Mitchell, AJ, Wyden, Campbell, Graham, Munro.
Well, there you go. Isaiah
Well,
Tass,
that whole left edge was rubbish.
Isaiah Tass is playing again anyway.
He was 18th man.
I don't know. It's just frustrating to watch because it's like they're feeding the ball to the try and they're waiting for him to do something. Like we've got a lot of other players on the park that should be stepping up. I get he's one of the best players on his day, but we should look to the elsewhere to get something out of that game. It's just relying on one player. It can only get you so far.
I agree.
Look, if it's a tie game and if it's down and out, you give the ball to him, you feed the ball to him. But when you're trying to win a game and if you're ahead or if you're behind, like you got to look for other options. You can't just rely on one player.
Do you know what shocked me the most about that? Looking at the table and you guys are second last.
I know.
Is this your season over?
Well, you'd think so, but there's only 4 points between us and 9th, I think,
Yeah.
or 8th,
Yeah.
10th place.
Manly's on 18 points in
You guys are on
ninth.
14.
Well, there you go. There's not much in it.
The NRL, bro. If you go 3 wins in a row, you're sitting in the top 8.
The only one I think that's down and out is Titans.
Oh, they're rubbish. I don't even want to talk about the game. But anyways, the next game, Storm Sharks, Katoa, the best second row in the game. No one even laces him. Did you see that cutout pass he threw to fucking...
You're forgetting Hudson Young plays.
I don't care about Hudson Young. Can Hudson Young throw a cutout pass like him? Hudson Young can't even pass.
The only forward that I think who can throw a cutout like that is...
Tariq Sims.
No.
Kick out.
You're not talking about kicks, are ya?
No, mate. Terrell, mate. Roosters days when he threw that cutout.
Yeah,
ball.
bro. He
bro,
threw it about 20 meters.
When
or
Sam
whatever.
Walker went at halftime and said he's him, it was so
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah. Bro, Katoa, I don't know if you guys watched that game, but Katoa threw like a 20-meter cutout pass and he stepped out Fa'alogo, who, honestly, I feel so bad for him because he's a future he's a future top 3 fullback in my opinion. Like he's...
Far low, I don't know about that.
Brother, the X factor he brings to the team. Do you see what he does?
X Factor, mate. Offers. What else does he offer other than X Factor?
Did you not see the way he breaks the line? Do you not see the way... He did it to you boys last week, actually. Exactly right. No, but, bro, Katoa is levels above everyone else right now.
Well, that Hughes and the Katoa link up is killing it at the moment.
They're absolutely abusing it, and it's working. Why stop?
Of course.
Like when you think at international level as well, Katoa and Olakau'atu are Tonga second rowers. That's the best second row pairing in the world, isn't it?
Are you forgetting your mate Angus and Liam?
I think the other two are...
They're a lot more damaging, the Tongan ones. They're a lot more damaging.
It's disappointing, the Sharks, man. They're just such a disappointing team.
Bro, Hines needs to go. Not out of the team, but he needs to go to fullback.
100%.
A lot of people, a lot of Sharks fans are messaging me saying, Nico Hines cops more than what Flanagan does from us.
Agreed. Agreed, bro. Nico Hines is the biggest scapegoat in the NRL.
Bro, and they're all saying him winning the Dally M is probably the biggest scam in NRL history. Because when you look at him, can you see a Dally M winner in that?
No.
I don't understand what's happening, and I know Braden Trindle's not copying it as much as well, but he's been shocking as well over the last month.
Bro, I said it last week and I'll say it again. Nikora is riding Nico Hines' season at the moment, bro. If it wasn't for him, he would have been long gone before that. It's the same thing as the Katoa and Hughes link up, but they just spam it and it's not working for them, and I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, bro. They have to try something else. You think Craig Fitzgibbon's been in this situation about 3 or 4 times now, and he's stuck staunch with the team, and they've got nothing out of it. And, bro, they are a very solid team on paper. They have a very well-rounded team. They have a team that can go deep into the finals. But I can't see it happening with what they do unless they change something.
You know they're sitting 10th right now. The same amount of points as the Dragons.
It's crazy to think that,
And
bro.
we were sitting here saying Sharks top 4 this year.
I
They've got
think
such a
Sharks have only
solid
had one
team.
bye as well, but you've had
Doesn't
all three,
matter.
haven't you?
Doesn't matter, but
Of course it does.
it doesn't matter
You've got
because
4 free points.
have we lost those games yet? We haven't lost those games. Exactly. Right now, in this point of the season, we're on the same points. That's all that matters. If the season ends today, we're on the same
Well,
points.
Gus thinks we shouldn't get points for buys.
I don't care what Gus says. I don't think anyone cares what Gus says unless you're wearing a blue jersey.
I don't think there should be points for buys either, but
It's the same thing. Whether there's points or not, it's going to end up with the same thing. I just don't think we should be having this many buys because obviously we shouldn't be having an odd amount of teams. I've gone about this so many times, but we're talking about Dragons who are tipped for the spoon and Sharks who are tipped for top 4 sitting on the same points 18
agreed.
rounds in. That's all we're talking about. We're taking it at face value. Other than that, bro, I just don't... I know I was riding them last week, like the last time they played Melbourne. Something's gone wrong. I don't know what it is.
I can't see him improving unless they change something.
And the problem is they didn't lose anyone and they went and signed AFB. So if anything, they should have improved.
100%.
So I don't understand why they're going downhill. But, talking about downhill, that next game was the worst game I've watched all week.
can we skip through this a little bit?
I don't really want to talk about this besides that Purdue moving to the centres was the best thing to happen to the Cowboys.
Finally,
Drinkwater finally he finally got his hands on the ball. He's the main playmaker. Titans are ass. There's nothing to talk about that team. They're rubbish.
there's no improving for him.
I fell asleep in the second minute and woke up and Scotty scored that last try.
Bro, they're the most low quality team on earth. That game was low quality. Everything about this whole...
As Ariana Grande says,
Thank you, next.
thank you.
With that said, who was your standout player of the round?
A little bit biased as usual, but I think Connor Tracy did his best game in blue and white.
that is a good shout.
Look, this is the first time where you say a Bulldogs play, and I agree with you.
And like it also, because we saw those tackles right in front of us, Like
It was literally right in
two,
front of
those
us.
two times we looked at each other like, oh, yeah, Tlung is over, and it just wasn't for some reason.
Yeah.
And Connor Tracy was the reason.
Connor Tracy was just there. You just saw his head like that.
Yeah,
I don't
and-
even think he knew he tackled him. He
Nah.
just went in with his body.
I saw in the post-match interview he said that's something I've been working a lot on. My one-on-one tackles on
Good
the
on
line.
him.
And you know what? It's something he struggled with, and he showed a clear sign of improvement.
Good on him. Because I think that last semi-final that you guys played is probably haunting him, where he let Kohler through.
And apart from that, he had a good game then as well.
He
He catches his bombs. He gets meters on the return.
He just needs to add a passing game to himself, and he'll be a lot more complete.
Yeah, fair.
Who was your standout player?
Bro, when you think about the round that was or rounds that was in the past, like there's obviously one or two standout players, but for me there actually wasn't much of a standout player this round. I
Fair.
think there was a lot of good performances. I've got two. I got Jerome Hughes against the Sharks. I thought he played terrific. I thought he was the main reason for what happened basically. I also think Izzy Katoa gets another shout for me. I will shout him out nearly every week, but
Yeah.
4 try assists. He's leading the comp in try assists. Like he's absolutely killing it at the moment.
Unreal player.
It's crazy to think, bro, how much potential he has, and he hasn't even, like you said, he hasn't even reached max potential. Even.
Yeah.
Bro, and the thing with halves is they don't really hit their potential until they're like 28.
Exactly.
My standout player of the round was the other Katoa, Eli Katoa, bro. The thing that he's doing as a second row, I still can't believe. I want to show you this ball.
I think it's a bit of bias.
No,
bro.
I love him so
You
much.
always talk about
I
him.
know I do. I love him so much, and I hope he sees this video somehow. That someone sends him this video because I actually love him, bro. He's honestly the most damaging second row in the game.
Eli Katoa to the Dragons.
Here we go. No, but he's just the ultimate second row. Did you see the way he jumped over fullbacks, bro? He just
He's got skill.
he's
Definitely
unbelievable. The Flana Express of the round. We'll start with you.
Mine has to be Zach Lomax. And for more reasons than people see on face value. I was versing our co-host Charlie on Supercoach this week. My captain was one Zach Lomax, and then on his way to that game, he changed it to Val Holmes. Zach Lomax said, you know what, Sam? Fuck you. Here, Val Holmes, you can win Sharbo the game. Thank you very much.
Benjamin, yours.
Get good at Supercoach.
Oh, you know what? I'll add to that point. He also said he was penciling that
Yes,
that
he did.
game.
Yeah.
Why? So he can win us the game? Does he love us that much?
Blake Larry wasn't even playing, so I didn't get it.
I know, because Blake Lowry, you know why? Blake Lowry let him kick that winning field goal against us.
Okay.
So it's like, here you go,
Yeah,
Blake.
Fair enough.
Sean Kepi. Sean Kepi is the reason why I turned my TV off and I stopped watching that game. Sean Kepi is the reason why I went to sleep at 8:45 that night
On a Saturday night.
because I was that frustrated. I said the only thing I can do right now is sleep because he pissed me off that much. He's fucking rubbish. I don't know what bro. I'm telling you, he's got something. He's holding something against Wayne Bennett.
Must be.
Why is he playing every week? He is so shit. That one set where he gave away those 2 stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. I don't know how he plays first grade. I don't know how half the people play first grade. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I'm getting frustrated now. Next
Take over, June. Take over, please.
My Flana Express, I've already had my rants about him. I couldn't find anyone else that pissed me off more than that Andrew Johns comment. Going on national TV. After you're going and sticking up for someone saying we're bullies and then calling someone a gronk and saying I look 55. Do I fucking look 55?
I don't see it personally.
Do I look 55? You show your mouth, mate. Bro, go fuck yourself. You and the fucking hyena sitting next to you and you had Billy Slater going because I fucking put it on you as well, you fucking little gronk.
What was Billy Slater doing?
But I put it on him as well. That's why he doesn't like me.
Listen up, you gronk.
You gronk. Go fuck yourself, you
You
gronk. Do you have a hot take for me, Sam?
I believe I do. Bear with me for 1 second. It's not on the top of my head.
Must be pretty hot.
Yes, I do. You know what? You be the judge of it. I think Roosters
Not
make
hot.
the top 4 this year.
Mild.
I think Warriors are most likely
Nah,
going
that
to
is
drop
a hot
out.
take. You can't say it's mine.
Bro, they're sitting 6th now.
7th.
And then
Are they
Bulldogs,
7th?
Bulldogs, Raiders, Storm hold their spot. Warriors lose it. And I think Roosters will be a step ahead of Broncos.
There's
by
definitely
the end.
one spot up for grabs. It's a matter of whether Panthers or Roosters or even Broncos.
Or even
You've
Broncos,
got 3
yeah.
teams fighting for that spot.
Look, that's a better hot take than last time. I'll tell you that much.
Fair enough. Let's not.
I
go
rate
back
that
there.
one.
Thank you.
Benjamin.
Mild. My hot take for the week is I don't want people to take this the wrong way and I don't want to misinterpret what I'm about to say, but I think at his age, Izzy Katoa has a lot more ability than what Nathan Cleary did at his age. Now, Nathan Cleary obviously is a better player because he has that winning mentality where he comes up with those moments of brilliance. But the skill and ability that I've seen from Katoa so far at his age, I think it outshines what Cleary was doing at his age.
I rate that because
Katoa's what, 21 now?
yeah,
Cleary debuted at what, 19 or 20?
19, 20. It took him about 3 years for him to actually
Yeah, it
start
did.
playing good.
It did.
And then he won his first grand final at 23.
He lost. So they lost 2020. He debuted probably 2018, yeah.
Yeah,
Because they lost 2020 grand final and then they just won everything else
Cleary's
since.
28 now.
27.
27?
Yeah.
So we're talking 4 years in a row. So he would have won when he was 23.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? Fair shout.
Look, the reason I rate it is because if you take it individually and you take them out of their teams, I think Katoa's got more to his game than Cleary does at their same
100%.
age. Whereas if Cleary was lucky enough to be molded into a team, he was familiar with, and they all grew up together, and they're just the champion team.
So I know if you say it out loud that Katoa is a better player than Cleary, everyone's going to say,
That's not what you
are you
said,
talking
but,
about?
yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Because everyone remembers the accolades. Obviously, Cleary has a lot more accolades than what
Katoa
does.
will probably ever win, bro. I don't think any other.
I don't even
half
think
do that.
Katoa wins a grand final, to be honest.
It'll
if
be
he
Yeah,
hard
stays
maybe
to
there.
not.
judge, bro.
Maybe not.
But the ability that he's shown and how he's shone in that team so far, I think it's a lot better than what Cleary was doing at his age.
Fair enough.
I agree. I rate that. My hot take of the week is I think Alex Khan-Pereira will break the try
Alex?
scoring.
Alex Carver.
What is
Who's
his
that?
first name?
Alofiana.
Lafiana.
Hey, calm down, buddy. You don't know him on a first name basis like that.
So, but you can't call.
Why did I say Alex?
Alofiana.
Because I'm thinking of Alex Johnston.
Just say it again, please.
Lafi Khan-Pereira is going to break the try scoring record.
Wow.
That is a.
I want to know how many
That's
tries.
burning, Jane.
I want to know his try. I want to know
That's
how many tries he's on. How do you spell his name? Sam.
I don't know.
Did he score on the weekend? Because he broke the 50 try drought
Like the week before.
The week before.
Yeah, he got 50 tries in his first 58 or 59
At
games.
what
I
age,
remember.
Gene? How old is he?
He is Sam. Do you want to check how old he is?
I can check his age.
Bro, that's a hot take.
He broke the 50 record the quickest.
He was like the second quickest.
No,
to
the
ever do
quickest
it.
because him and I think Raja did it at the same time.
I'll
but
tell you what.
He's turning 24 in a couple of months.
so he's got another 10 years in him.
Depending.
About 10 years in him to
Yeah.
get another 160 tries.
Is that the number? Yeah.
So that's like 16 tries a year.
If he goes and plays left wing at South or left wing at Broncos, I think he has the capability of breaking it.
Bro, because right now he's scoring like, when he plays, he scores 2-3 tries a game for the Titans.
When he plays.
He's so injury prone.
Yeah.
But the Titans don't have a side they favour. If they go to if he goes to a club that favours one side, playing on that left side somewhere, I think he definitely has potential. Because at the age of 24, already on 50 tries is incredible enough as it is.
Yeah.
Bro, he's doing all right, and I genuinely think he will break the record. But I've got a follower segment. We've only got a couple of questions this week because all my socials were taken down, so we
Yeah,
couldn't
fair
get
enough.
many questions.
Yeah, we lost our Instagram account.
Yeah, I know. Fuck you, Peter Valandis, you prick. Yakub messaged me. Do you think the NRL will ever get better in terms of like calls, like refereeing standard?
I think it's only going to go sideways.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see it going backwards. I think it'll go sideways.
I don't think it get much better than what it is. I don't think it get much worse than what it is. The only reason is
It can
because
get much worse. With Ashley Klein in
you know what it is? If the bunker starts to step in and make even more calls, I think it will go out the window even more.
Absolutely, yeah. I see it going sideways more than anything else.
I don't think it will get better. I think if anything, it's going to
Yeah,
get
I don't
worse
think so
before
either.
it gets better.
Yeah, because these refs are getting the most training they've ever received.
I feel like there's a couple of these refs that are actually starting, like the one in the refs game, in the Dogs game. Who was reffing you guys?
That was Grant Atkins.
Grant Atkins did a perfect job in that game by
Yeah, he
putting
did.
the whistle up his ass.
That's how you ref a game.
Ashley Klein needs to stick it up his ass and try not to fuck for 80 minutes. Best line I've ever heard when it comes to a ref.
I wonder who said that. No, I love Ziggy as a ref.
Which one's Ziggy? The one that looks like Tom Jenkins?
No, the younger one. He's got the comb over, brown hair.
Oh, yeah. Who's the Tom Jenkins one?
That's Todd Smith. That's Todd Smith.
Tom Jenkins' dad. Jaden, what's your thoughts on Fogarty leaving the Raiders after a good season this year, and how do you think the Raiders will go after he leaves?
I think the Raiders regress a bit.
It's a big call, bro.
It's like if Fogarty had to leave, Manly's a decent place to go.
I don't think Raiders will be up there as one of the top teams without him in his team.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Raiders will drop back a lot, not just a bit. I feel like they will drop back a lot. And I think they're actually going to regret this signing.
Maybe.
I think they're going to regret this signing.
I think they'll become like a fringe 8 team, losing Fogarty.
They'll probably turn into like Knights.
Because how many tries has Foggy provided, or how many tries have been provided off Foggy's kicking game?
Not just his try assist, but like his pass that leads into a try assist, or his kick, or whatever it is. But just before we get into our tips and whatever, I wanted to talk Origin team list, and there's a lot of doubt and like a lot of hype and a lot of controversy around this whole thing because Kiraz has been moved into 18th man. We've now gone and gotten reports that To'o has partially torn his LCL, which is the ligament on the outside of your knee. We're now going to see potentially Kiraz get bled into Origin. And on the other side, we've got Hammer playing fullback, Papali'i gets recalled, and Reece Walsh at 18th man.
A lot of big calls.
I feel like that Reece Walsh 18th man is just like a little trick play, and he's going to get pushed into fullback because the other thing I didn't even mention, Shibasaki getting pushed in as
Billy Slater's
centre.
speaking very highly of him, but I don't think Billy Slater's going to do all that. Say, I love Shibasaki's story. He deserves to be here, and then not play him.
Can you play him at a decider at fucking...
Billy thinks so. Billy thinks he can.
We haven't seen Shibasaki at a pressure point yet.
No,
So
not at all.
it'd be a good watch, but
Surely this feels like, at least on paper, the biggest centre mismatch in representative footy history.
When you look at one that's had 10 games or 15 games that he's played, and the other one that's a journeyman who's now on a train and trial, coming up against Latrell Mitchell, who's the most damaging centre in his position and probably the best centre in the game.
The most consistent centre comfortably.
Critter.
because I've seen Shibasaki make some poor defensive reads throughout the year so far.
You know, when they came up against the Dogs, he actually did a number on Critter.
He did.
He actually shut down Critter very well.
Because his game has developed.
The whole Dogs were off that game as well.
They were, but when we're talking about individual battle, he definitely came out on top on that battle. And that's a good mental thing to come in saying, the person that's coming opposite me, I've actually dealt with him before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like, had Critter had come up against him before and he tore him to shreds, then you're like nervous, like, fuck, what if he does it again?
As a New South Welshman, I love the fact they're playing Hammer at fullback.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
What's he going to
definitely.
offer that Reece Walsh won't?
He's going to get found out so much.
And he's not good under the high ball.
Bro, unless it's a breaking play, I can't see what else he offers to that team. It's like Edwards, bro. Edwards just there to run meters. That's it.
I don't know, bro. I feel like Edwards obviously offers way more than Hammer. Way more. I feel like he's got...
Did you just compliment Dylan Edwards?
Yes.
Bro, I don't
Bit
know.
odd.
I don't know how much more Edwards offers
At
than
least
Hammer.
Edwards can pass the ball. I haven't seen Hammer pass the ball. I haven't seen Hammer being involved in a play that's not in open play. I've never seen him do any of that sort of stuff, unless he's a center that's been given the ball on the outside of his man where he just runs. It's not even a step; it's just a run. Personally, I'd be if I'm Queensland, I'd be playing Reece Walsh over
Yeah,
him.
100%.
You're playing Reece Walsh and you'd be putting Murray Talangi in that team.
Yes,
He has not played a bad Origin game.
yes, I know. Like these are players that you would
He's still injured soon.
No, he played. He's been
No,
playing
he
for
played.
the Cowboys.
played for
play?
Cowboys.
He's
Yeah.
been playing. Like he
He
missed,
scored a
he
try,
missed game
pretty sure.
one due to injury, 100%.
Burns isn't playing any.
But since then,
Sorry,
Talangi.
Jackson
Burns did
Paulo.
play. Burns did play.
Jackson Paulo.
Played last week, but they sacked him. But, bro, do you think Papali'i was more of a panic?
You know what? I
definitely
think that's
think
a
so.
very good decision.
I love Papali'i.
I think that's a very good
As a
decision.
neutral, I think it's an amazing call. I hate it as a Blues fan,
Yeah.
but he deserves it, bro. He's a big game player.
Do you reckon his son gets a jersey with you?
Or who they sign? His son or him?
And I don't think Mo Fodawaker's an Origin player personally.
I don't mind Fodawaker. He's a solid player. But
I don't
think
think it's at the
Papali'i
Origin
has
level.
the ability to go over the line. When
I
different
think
level,
I
bro.
think it's a freaking incredible decision.
well,
by Billy
thank you,
Slater.
because at least I don't have to see him run through our fucking forwards this weekend when I go down to Canberra.
Tarpon is fit, but I didn't see that
Bro,
coming.
did you see his finger?
Yes, I did see his
That was
finger.
bad.
Like
I did.
that.
I did.
Speaking of being disappointed, as a Dogs fan, how do you feel about Kiraz being called up to the 18th man? You've lost Burden
Are you
last
happy
buy round,
or upset?
I'm
and now you lose Kiraz this buy round.
because of the context of our season and where everything's at. I'm happy for him to spend a week in camp.
You're going to be happy for him as a player.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? This isn't going to do him any harm.
And
It's only going to be good for him.
the arguments now come in, considering how crucial it was for have Burden and Kiraz to your
Yeah.
team. Does or should 18th man play that week if the club has a game
Definitely.
and then back
No.
up for Origin?
No.
Definitely.
Because 18th man is a risk of playing.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Because he's a risk of playing. Imagine he's
He
gone and
is.
played a high intensity game where he's worn out, and then now he's gone and activated that Origin.
The 18th man is only there because he's the next man in for whoever potentially won't be playing in that team.
Yeah, correct.
Bro,
But
you
no-
could
no,
have
but
you could have
arguably
last
not.
minute injury.
Arguably not, because Mitchell Moses got injured and the 18th man stayed as the 18th man.
Yeah, but we had Burden there as 18th man last game,
Yeah.
Because
Sam, you have to say who
Lua-
18th man. Like if Tarpany not Tarpany, what am I talking about? If Payne Haas gets injured, are you gonna fucking put Kiraz in the prop? Obviously not. He's the 18th man. If Toto gets injured, he's the 18th man. He goes in. It's simple. And the 18th
understand
man
the
is
concept.
coming to game day. If we get a concussion via foul play, he now is activated as a bench player.
Yes, aware.
Imagine he's now gone and played for the Dogs
That's why
that week before.
18th man more often than not is either a Mr. Fixer or a back.
I don't think they should be playing the week before.
I agree. It's just that the question's been asked now, because obviously if you're Gus, you're getting the shits that you've lost two of arguably your best players for that year.
Yeah.
You've lost them back-to-back weeks.
And we play every bye round. Like that's an issue in the schedule, man.
Bro,
That's what happens when you send it to Canada and then you get a Canadian fucking computer to spit out some fucking schedule for you. It's stupid. I don't know why they do it like that. Like we've played in the space of like 4 weeks, we played like I think Sharks or Knights or someone twice, and we don't play Panthers until round 27, which is the last round. And subhanallah, they're firing on all cylinders.
No, I know about 3 or 4 teams have to suffer considering how many rounds we play, that they have to play every bye round.
Bro, Roosters, Manly, I don't think any of them
shouldn't.
played the bye
They
round.
shouldn't. Roosters haven't missed one. Dogs haven't missed one.
And Manly.
And Manly as well. Yeah, they played all 3 bye rounds.
The difference is Manly don't lose anyone to Origin anymore.
They would have expected to.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sen, is no, actually, right, they shouldn't, because there is
Every team should
Every
at
team
least
should
have
miss
one.
Yes, absolutely.
there's 27 rounds. You take away 3 of the bye rounds, that leaves you with 24 rounds. You got 17 teams. Obviously, more than one team are going to have a bye during a normal season.
Yeah.
But every team should have a bye during a normal season.
Look, we'll go on to our tips. We'll leave Origin for next week, considering that Origin is next week. But your boys are playing Broncos down here on the Friday night. Both teams are missing a lot of firepower.
Broncos team still looks pretty solid, but
No, I haven't even checked the team.
You know what I like about your team? And it's something that I've been calling for. Do you know what's happened?
tell me,
Galvin's at 6 and Burden's in the centre.
that's not what's happening.
It's going to happen.
That's
Are
not
you
the
reading
case.
the same thing that we're
It's
reading?
gonna
That's not the case. I expected that to be the case.
It's going to happen.
It's not.
Trust me. Wilson won't play.
So then what? Tawala goes. Look, Tawala can play on the wing, but
Regardless,
I would have done that. I said to people throughout the
but
week.
then again, okay, I had this discussion with someone on the way here actually,
Mm-hmm.
and I said to them, Burden is your star player. Burden is your 5'8". Burden is your player moving forward to play at 5'8". Do you sacrifice that to allow for a player to come off the bench and start in your team?
No.
Which is why I understand why they've kept Burden at 5'8". Burden is the 5'8" moving forward.
Burden's there, but
He's your crucial player.
he's our star player.
You're not
man.
going to suffer that just to get Galvin off the bench.
Galvin's their future. Burden won't
Yes,
be
he
there.
is their future, but Galvin's not going to win the comp this year.
I haven't even looked at the Broncos team properly, but
The Broncos team is still solid.
Cobbo at fullback,
Yeah.
got the call back up.
you got Mariner and Staggs in the centres, Carapani, Arthur's on the wing.
They're just filling
Reynolds,
with their
Ezra
forwards
Mam.
on the bench.
They've
But
Their whole back line is there,
So
besides
yeah,
Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
they're missing Shibasaki. Who's playing centre for them?
Mariner.
Stags and
Staggs
Mariner.
and Mariner.
They're missing Shibasaki, Carrigan, Haas and Walsh. Dogs are missing 5 players. They got Saluka for Faiders, but I don't know how he still has a...
There's a
A
better out
contract.
for you than in.
Sam Hughes is even in doubt as well, and his name to start.
Kiraz, Man, King and Crichton.
So we'll start with you. Tip.
Dogs 1 to 12.
Broncos 1 to 12.
I'll go on Broncos 1 to 12. Our next game.
Whitewash.
Raiders 13 plus.
Bro, you guys have 5 players out from last week's
Bro,
team.
you know we have a total of like 12 injuries this year.
Hamish Stewart, Luciano Leilua, Nathan Lawson, Toby Couchman and Val Holmes. And they didn't even throw in the bloke who got ridden off 10 minutes before kickoff, the money man.
CT, we've got the other Couchman, we've got Egan, we've got a lot of players out, bro.
Shining light, but finally Sione Fine who gets a run. I've been
He's-
calling for him to get a run for I don't know how long now.
Play-
Only
play
for
one
now, he
week
played
and
the
then cut.
Anzac Day and then got cut.
And then cup.
But this was the perfect game for us to bleed Jacob Halangahu, and they've gone and fucking got me for aiming for Taylor Mariner.
Look, that's a change that can still happen.
22nd on the team list, I don't see it happening, bro. They've got Michael Molo there. Viliami for Feeder got dropped for no reason, bro.
All Raiders lose is Josh Papali'i, bro. I got it as a whitewash.
And Hudson.
And Hudson.
He was already missing from last week.
Look, I'll tell you something now. There's games where Dragons should never win, and they always turn up for it. And I don't know why this is one of the games I feel like we're going to turn up for.
No.
Raiders by 40.
If you had a few more
Legacy
fit
five.
players, a few more fit players, I'd agree. But no, I
Bro,
think
whenever we're down and out, I'm being dead set. There's a problem in Dragons history. Whenever we're down and out and everyone counts us off, we always turn up. And then the games where we should never lose, we never turn up. It's fucking stupid. I don't know why it is what it is, but it is what it is.
Raiders 13.
I'm always going to back my boys. I'm going to say Dragons 1 to 12. I'm going to take the Dragons mark off and Raiders by 70.
Raiders 13 plus, bro.
Bro, it's
Actually, no, Raiders 1 to 12.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than what
Raiders
everyone
1 to
thinks.
12.
I hope so. For the sake of the game, I actually hope so. But on paper, it looks like a 13 plus.
It does. Next game, we got Cowboys versus Melbourne.
This is the first bye round Melbourne have played.
Cowboys versus Melbourne up in North.
Storm
North
got a few
Queensland.
outs. They've obviously got 5 players to Origin, Munster, Grant, Stefano, Liera and Coates, and they've lost Farlogo.
The
to
Cowboys
injury
lose
as well.
about 5 players as well.
They've got 4 players missing. They're missing Nanai, Robson, Cotter and Dearden.
There you go.
But I think Storm have enough coverage in those positions, even though they lost 6 players.
Is
They
Bronson
can still
Toole playing
win.
this week?
Who?
Bronson Toole is playing, yeah.
Joe Chan's playing centre, which is a very weird call for me.
Ooh, yalla, mate.
So I think Purge is going to have a day out if he's running that side. But I've still got
Storm in a
Storm 1
tight
to
one.
12.
Storm in a tight one.
I'm going Cowboys 1 to 12. I think the heat going from really cold. Bro, it's really cold in Melbourne right now.
It would be a good upset, but they've gone back to Tom Duffy at half. I don't know how he's going to play, being out of the game for that long. So
When Nelson's putting pressure on him as well.
Don't worry about Nelson, mate. It's hot. Nelson can't run in the heat.
I think people need to worry about
Nelson
Nelson.
can't run in the heat, mate.
bit
He'll
of
start melting.
inexperience on the bench as well.
I feel
don't
like the
know.
heat will actually play into the Cowboys' hands.
See, look, the hit definitely
I'm
does,
going to go
but
Cowboys 1 to 12.
I still think Storm have too much quality for them.
I'm actually going to go Cowboys 1 to 12. This, if we're talking about bloodbath, this next game is going to be an even bigger
Bro,
bloodbath
it makes
than
you
us.
wonder. Like they've reshaped the team that much, and I don't know where their points come from.
Who's playing fullback for Tigers?
Sunya,
Sunya Taru.
And their halves are?
Dewey and
Dewey
Faith.
Fainu.
Far out.
A
But
bloodbath.
You know what's funny? What you just said about the Dragons and Raiders. I think that applies in this game, but
What, the Tigers are going to show up?
for whatever reason, I don't know why.
I can't see it.
Look, aside from this week that just passed, I don't think the Tigers have been terrible the last
Look,
few weeks.
we'll talk about the past bye rounds during like the Origin period. We have seen the craziest scorelines and the craziest upsets.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go Roosters by a fucking margin. I'm going to go Roosters by about 40. But if anything is on the table for a fucking fucked up round to happen, it's going to be this week. So what are you going to go?
Roosters 1 to 12.
I've got Roosters 1 to 12 as well. They've got a lot of. Well, we said that before when they came off with the inexperienced.
they
team
beat the Sharks.
and they
They
pulled
beat
through.
Penrith.
But they just scraped through against Knights the last bye round as well.
Bro, I'm telling you, these bye rounds provide some funky games.
I don't even know why we have
And
it.
then this last game,
To me, this is a whitewash.
I agree. Manly versus Rabbits.
Manly, to think that Manly, with the team they have, they don't lose.
They don't miss
to
anyone.
Origin.
It's the same team, 1 through to 17.
It's crazy, bro.
And then you guys have, who do you have out this week? You have no Walker.
Just Latrell.
Walker's extended bench and Brandon Smith is extended bench.
Johnston at fullback, Benjamin.
We got no one, bro. We got no juniors. Jai Gray was there, but obviously he's injured. No juniors, bro.
Look, Sandon Smith and Cody Walker change your opinion on this game a lot.
Sandon Smith.
Brandon Smith.
Sandon Smith.
Brandon Smith. Because they're both on the extended bench. That
No,
changes a
bro.
lot for them.
No,
Just
I think it doesn't change anything for me.
honestly,
Cody Walker's ass,
I
mate.
know it's wild, but I probably would have played Wyden at fullback and moved Dodd to 5'8".
Probably.
Yeah, but Wayne Bennett doesn't like Lewis Dodd at all.
He doesn't like that
we know
Englishman.
Even though he's on the bench, we do.
I don't know why he doesn't like him.
He
He's
doesn't
like,
like
oh,
him
you're
at
the
all.
pawn we signed.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Where are you going, Sam?
I'm going Manly 1 to 12 to be changed depending on teams.
Benjamin?
I hate to back. I don't know. Do you back against your team?
Back the boys, mate.
You have to back your boys. And then
Alright.
like whisper into the mic.
You know, I'll back my boys. Manly.
Manly.
Manly 13 plus. Based off those rounds or like those games, who you got as your player to watch this week?
My player to watch was also written down, but I can't remember it at the moment. My
Thank you,
player
Sam.
to watch,
Thank you, Sam. Everyone, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
I think Tyron Wishart comes out and has a very, very good game. Starting at number 6.
Not bad.
Teddy bear.
Teddy Bear's gonna bag like 7 tries.
You think so?
Bro, you know, there's been a couple times where Roosters have actually put like 60 or 70 points on the Tigers. This is gonna be one of them, I think.
See what happens.
My player to watch, I think, is KOX against the Dragons. He's going to absolutely tear us apart.
They're all good watches, you know.
We'll see who's got the better prediction. You know what? I want to come back to this next week and see
Yes,
who had the best and
definitely.
the worst prediction.
Love it.
But on that note, we'll end it there. We'll thank Ajib's Couch and the league lads for their space.
Thanks, boys.
We'll thank Andrew Johns for his comments on national TV.
Thank you,
I think
Joey.
we thank the NRL for sanctioning you and making you